Good afternoon and welcome to Willow's Green Permaculture. Today is the garlic harvest. It's July 16th and you can barely see the garlic because of all this plantain and stuff here, but I've placed the camera so that I can do this in one shot, the whole thing. Well, I want to be able to see the whole garlic patch the whole time that I'm in this one shot. So as I go further back, you'll probably see more. As I harvest the garlic, you're going to see how easily it comes out of the ground. You're going to see what it looks like and so on. I'm going to show you some of the garlic and how we know that it's ready. And as we go along, just some general advice about garlic and gardening as a whole. In the last 20 minutes of the video, after the thank you and so on, the goodbye, it will be a walk through the garden, just a quiet walk with music maybe throughout and the bird sounds and so on mostly July 16th and 17th. I was experimenting with my new phone using the real close-up with birds and flowers. So if this is something you're interested in, then let's get started. It's July 16th today, and I'm gonna go out and start harvesting our garlic because it's ready. And however, if you look at the wall behind me, this is some of the garlic that we still have left from our 2025 harvest, and we have a little bit more left also in the solarium, which I'll show you in a sec. And we also sold some garlic this year as well. We sold at least 50-60 bulbs of garlic, so we really had an abundant harvest last year with nice sized garlic, and it's lasted us this long. And so let's see how we do this time around. And here's the rest of our leftover garlic from 2025. I can see right here that some of my garlic scapes escaped. And so that's all right. So this garlic's not going to be too... here, let me show you. This is a garlic that the garlic scape escaped. I'm not going to leave it there. I'm going to pull it anyway. So let's pull it. And look at that. I was able to pull it right out. Oh, there's the bulb. That's pretty good for one that has a garlic scape that is almost developed, so I'm pretty happy about that. So now let's have a look at another typical garlic so I can show you how I know that they're ready. Now let's just grab another one here. Let's see if I can just pull it out of the ground. Nice. The fact that I can just pull these out of the ground without using a fork. I've got my fork here, my big garden fork, and just in case I need it. The fact I can pull these out of the ground is really nice. Look at this garlic bulb. It's a nice size, it's beautiful. I consider this a large garlic bulb. And now, it's July 16th, and what you can see here is we've got one sort of drying leaf. We got several completely dry leaves here. 1, 2, and then there were others further down. And then one that's drying. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 that are pretty pristine, and then another one that's drying. I probably could have waited a little longer, but it's been really dry, and the garlic's really dry. It's supposed to rain on Saturday, and I don't want to wait another week. And it's important for your garlic to be kind of dry when you take it out of the garden. And I'm feeling the roots right here. What is really nice about what I'm feeling here is I can feel that there's a little bit of moisture, which is great, which means that tells me that this far below the soil, there's available moisture, which is nice. And the other thing is, I was able to pull this out of the ground without using my fork, which means all those leaves that you saw me put in my garlic video last fall, I put a nice thick layer of leaves after I plant them. Well, I never take them off, and they were there in the spring, and the garlic grew right through them. And they've just helped maintain that nice moist soil the whole way through. As we're harvesting, you're going to see all sorts of different plants growing here, some of which I planted last July after I harvested the garlic, others that are just volunteers and so on, like this plantain here. This year I'm going to be harvesting the seeds of this plantain, because you can use the seeds of the plantain as you would chia. And so I can't wait till this plantain seed is ready. So it's not only the fact that you can take the leaves and they're really good for you. You have a look at this. This leaf is nice and clean. So yeah, you can eat the leaves. They're very good for you. And they have like mucilaginous properties to them, while the seeds have them as well. And that's why you can use the seeds as you would chia. The taste of the plantain is not my favorite. Actually, kind of tastes like mushroom, this one. That's interesting. Kind of a bitter mushroom. But anyway, you put one or two in a salad and it's really nice. So here we go. There's our first garlic. Now I'm just gonna stop talking and start harvesting. All right, we'll see if I need the fork. For the first little bit, you're just gonna see my legs. There are 10, including the first two. That's my first dozen. I'm gonna place these all in the same direction. It'll be a lot easier to pick up later. There's my first dozen garlic. Look at that. All right. And I was able to pull them all without using a fork. Nice, loose soil. That's how you avoid needing to water. Wow, even the soil along the edge is loose. That's nice. Lots of raspberry growing in here because I've got raspberries right next to this garlic. Part of our border of our garden. Keep the animals out. Wow, second dozen. Now, if it's a little bit hard to pull, then you pull more gently so it doesn't break. Very gently, very slowly, and you hold it right at the base. There we go. This one didn't want to come out. So gently, then it came out, rather than breaking. 3, 6, 9, 10. The edges are always a little harder. 7. Because I'm stepping onto them when I'm weeding stuff. 12. There's 3 dozen. Four dozen. $5 dozen. 6 dozen. It's never been so easy to pull my garlic. Bergamot right here. Seven dozen. Lots of raspberries. 8 dozen. Nine dozen. 10 dozen. Oh. 11 dozen. 12 dozen. 13 dozen. 13 dozen. How many dozen am I going to be doing? 13 dozen. Well, 20 dozen. 200 is 240. 40. I'll be doing about 40, well, at least 42 dozen. I'm up to 13. 13 dozen. 13 dozen. I don't want to lose count. 13 dozen. 14 dozen. I'm going to start piling them up here to save time. Oh, here. 14 dozen. Oh, there's some ground cherries I planted in here last July. Some native ground cherries that grew back too, even though I completely covered them up through the winter. Okay, 14 dozen. Let's continue. $15 dozen. Oh, that lemon balm smells beautiful. 16 dozen. 17 dozen. And my first garlic had stayed underneath, right by the yarrow here. That's okay, that'll just come back next year as a multiple bulb. 17 dozen. Just gonna put this, if I can put it right where I picked it. 17 dozen. I might try and pull it up later, we'll see. 17 dozen. 18 dozen. Now, you have a rough time seeing me. That shows you how many other plants are growing in here. There's raspberries, plantain, lemon balm, yarrow, native ground cherries, some grassweed. Yeah, it looks like there's a Manitoba maple growing in here, and other stuff. Some curly dock. Okay, I'm gonna lose count. 18 dozen. Let's continue. Stop talking. 18 dozen. $19 dozen. 20 dozen. I'm almost halfway there. 21 dozen. Oops. Beautiful, beautiful garlics. There's oregano here too. 22 dozen. 23 dozen. Wow. 24 dozen. We're at 2 dozen now. 2 dozen. 2 dozen. Wow. That's 288, I think. Yeah. 240 plus 48, 288. 2 dozen. That's easy to remember. 2 dozen. 2 dozen. 2 piles of a dozen. Wow, the first pile's 13 dozen, the second pile's 11 dozen, but it's still 2 dozen. 2 dozen. So new pile here. Now we're going to be at 25 dozen. And by the way, another reason why I like to pull the garlic is because if I had to use the fork, then it'd be like I was turning the soil, and I don't want to do that. Okay, 25 dozen. 26 dozen. Maybe I think I'm going to move the camera a little bit closer. Now that we're past halfway. So we're at 26 dozen right now. We're coming near the end here. Only 7 dozen. Goodness. $28 dozen. 29 dozen. Never counted so many dozens before. 30 dozen. 30 dozen. That's 360 in total so far. 30 dozen. Ah. Okay. $31 dozen. 31, prime number. Love prime numbers. 31 dozen. Math is something else I like. 31 dozen. $32 dozen. $33 dozen. Go this side. 33 dozen. Okay, nice arrow here. 34 dozen. Take one too many, that dozen. 34 dozen. Okay. $35 dozen. $36 dozen. 3 dozen. Time to start a new pile. 36 dozen. Oh, wow. 36 dozen. How many is that in total? Oh, okay. I want to lose count. 3 dozen. $37 dozen. I did say I was going for 40. It looks like I'm going to make it. Close to it anyway. 37 dozen. $38 dozen. I'm almost done. Look at this sow thistle. Look at this sow thistle. It's almost as tall as me. Oh, sometimes they can get like 3 times my height. Okay, 38 dozen. I gotta stop talking. I'm gonna lose count. 38 dozen. There's 2 dozen right there. 38 dozen. South thistle. Another south thistle. Gee, I'm losing count. $39 dozen. Ha! Ha ha ha! South thistle. Curly dog. 39 dozen. Okay. $40 dozen. We're up to 40 dozen. 4 times 12 is 48. Times 10 is 480. We're up to 480. 40 dozen. Awesome. Close to 500. 40 dozen. I would never made it to 48 dozen. That's like way more than 500. It's like almost 600. 576. Anyway, 40 dozen. Okay. There's 11 here, but I didn't count the garlic that stayed in the ground. So that's 12. So if I count it. So, oh no, there's a 12th one right here. So I don't have to count it. Here we go, it's the little guy. Garlic escaped, that escaped. Garlic escaped, that escaped, escaped, garlic escaped. Escaped, 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 escaped. Okay, so 41 dozen. 41 dozen, so 40 dozen. 4 times 12 is 48 times 10, 480 plus a dozen. 492 garlics. Which, yeah, now I think of it, the corner I started in, the garlics had 2 or 3 times more space than all the others. Because I remember I was aiming for between 500 and 550 last fall, but my bulbs were so big that some of them had gigantic cloves. Often a bulb will have 6 to 9 cloves in it, but lots of my bulbs had only 4 huge cloves in them. So when I got to the last corner, suddenly I had way too much space, and so I just spaced them out a little bit more to see how they do. Well, because I wanted to fill in the space for the garlic. And so instead of planting between 500 and 550 bulbs, which I wanted to, I ended up planting, now confirmed it, 492. Well, plus the one that didn't pull out, so 493 bulbs. 41 dozen. There might be a garlic here and there that I missed because there's a lot of vegetation in here. Oh, there's one. 494. Including the one I left in the ground. I don't know if you can see any in the camera. I'm looking. I see yarrow, I see raspberries, I see that some kind of bindweed, but not the bindweed. I see catnip, I see lemon balm, I see wild bergamot, I see curly dock, I see mullein, I see gray-headed coneflower, I see plantain, I see oregano, I see sunflower, I see lots of creeping Charlie, I see some grass, but I don't think I see any more garlic. So 400, a harvest of 493 garlic plus one that stayed in the ground. Beautiful. Now I'm gonna go put these on shelves to dry. And I let them dry outside for a little while in the shade, but just for an hour or two, while I get the shelves inside our solarium ready. So, you know, because they will be sheltered from the overhead sun. In fact, they'll be sheltered from any direct sun, because in the summertime, there's really no direct sun that goes into the solarium through the panels at all, because when the sun's low enough to go through the panels, it's behind trees. So that's good. No direct sun at all is going to hit these garlics. Wow. There's the garlic patch now, not as pretty as before. So here are the first 13 dozen garlics. Some beautiful garlic in there. And then there's the next 11 dozen, for a total of 2 dozen. There's my camera stand. A nice little lip on the bottom of this pail. Keeps the camera pointing straight forward and not falling over. There's the third dozen garlics, so 3 dozen garlics, 36 dozen. And then there are the last bunches. The last, what would it be? 5 dozen, for a total of 41 dozen, plus a couple. And there are potatoes right next to the garlic and the cabbage. Oh my goodness. Now, what I want is all of this, all that squash that's there, and there's some watermelon over there. Let me show it to you. There's some watermelon right there. There's a few plants over in that corner, hoping that they come and grow into the garlic patch. And I hope the squash does too. And I hope it surrounds these surrounds our Three Sisters well, because now this is wide open, and if it's turkeys coming into our gardens, well, wow, this is a really easy landing pad for them. Well, whatever. We'll see. I really need to get a trail camera. Anyway. If you ever wondered how much large garlic you could fit into a wheelbarrow, right here there are 2 dozen. So 24 dozen garlics. 24 dozen garlics. 288 garlics. One wheelbarrow. Now I gotta go get another wheelbarrow. Oh, and by the way, I didn't even think of this when I was eating that plantain earlier. Plantain is, I'm pretty sure it's anti-inflammatory. So by eating it, I'm sure it's helping any of the inflammation caused by, you know, the remnants of what the lime did. You know, for instance, like here's a, and we actually have 2 kinds here. See we got these flower heads here, and we got these flower heads here. These flower heads are this one, the broadleaf, and these flower heads here are this one, the narrowleaf, which is also edible. A little bit more fibrous. Not my favorite taste in the world, but you know, bitters are important. The 20th century made us lose our taste for the bitters. Too much easy sugar, too much easy sweets. Of course, who doesn't like sweets? Too easy to get addicted to them. Speaking about getting addicted to anything, in my last video, which maybe will only have been a few days ago, the one about the Three Sisters and the lime, I told you about a book that can help you get you over addictions if you got any. The brain that changes itself. First wheelbarrow, there were the first 2 dozen. And now, here are the other 17 dozen in this larger wheelbarrow. As you saw, I didn't need the fork. Out of 494 garlics that I harvested today, only 1 stayed in the ground. I was able to pull every single one, and 98% of them I was able to pull with one hand. Probably there was about between 5 and 10 garlics that I needed to pull with 2 hands gently to get them out of the soil. Once again, that is the garden speaking to me and telling me that the soil is alive and well prepared with lots of organic matter. I just realized the total is actually 495 because I harvested 1 garlic bulb about 12 days ago for another video that'll be coming up in a few months. Now I'm gonna lightly cure these in the shade outside for an hour or 2. Make sure they stay in the shade. And then later on today, I'm gonna be putting them on those types of shelves, but inside our garage solarium. Now, of course, all of these are piled way too thickly, but this is just the initial outdoor drying. It's a nice windy day today. It's sunny, a bit hazy from the forest fires, but these guys are in the shade. I don't want them in the direct sun because I don't want them cooking. I just want them to cure a little bit out here. They're going to do most of their curing inside the garage. There's a lot of ventilation in there, and but the idea out here is just to get the initial you know, moisture from the soil off of them. There's not much moisture on the outside of them from the air because it's been pretty dry. Like I said, we haven't had a rain in well over a week, I think. And the other idea is if any of them like these still have dirt on them, I'm just gonna shake it off, just, you know, bounce them together, shake that earth off, because I don't wash my garlic in any way. I let them cure with, you know, with the little bit of dirt that's gonna be left after I shake it off. I leave it on there, and I don't wash them. I don't peel them. I don't do anything. I leave them as is and let them dry up completely to preserve as much of this exterior skin as possible. And obviously I have to check, make sure that they're all healthy, but you know, I pulled each one individually, one by one. I looked at every one and they all look really, really healthy. And you saw our garlic in the kitchen. They're all really healthy. We use them every day, and literally we use them every day because we had over 500 of them last year. And so anyway, and I'll show you a bit later what it's going to look like in the garage, but we have twice as much shelving in the garage to be able to put these. I like to lay them flat like that rather than hang them up. Just lay them flat and make sure they're not, you know, they shouldn't be any more than 2 layers thick, and hopefully they're just 1 layer thick. One other thing, I've got a bag of buckwheat seed that I'm going to be raking into the garlic bed, along with some plants, like I said, that are in pots that I can throw in there. It's we're supposed to get a really good rain on Saturday, so Saturday, especially in the afternoon, maybe very light in the morning. So in the morning, I'm going to be raking all that seed in there, and if I have any plants to transplant into there, I'm going to do that then, so that the rain just does the rest. Very few of the garlics came out with so much earth in them, which shows that the soil was dried out enough to allow for that. That's it. That's all I'm going to do. They're all in our solarium now. Here in this in the workshop part of the solarium in the back, I've already set aside 100 along here, all individually placed. There are 100 garlics here. These 100 are the ones I'm going to plant at the beginning of November. And then all the rest of them are over here by the windows. I've already set aside some of the bigger ones right away for the kitchen that can go into the kitchen. Even though we have leftover garlic from last year, it's nice to have some freshly new harvested garlic. So some of the bigger ones, and also some of the ones I've set aside. We have one like this that's not gonna last, so I've set that aside, and for the kitchen. And any of the garlic that had garlic scapes have been set aside for the kitchen. There are only about a half a dozen of those, if that. They've been getting bigger and bigger every year because I generally keep lots of the biggest ones. However, for the last couple of years, including this year, I've given many, many, many of the biggest ones to Maggie for the kitchen. I hope you liked the video. Hope you learned something from it. Hope you found it useful. If you liked it, then please give it the thumbs up and share it with your friends. Share it with many friends if you can. And if you have any questions or comments, don't hesitate to put them in there. You know, I respond to all your questions and comments. Thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful week. Oh, and you know what? If you're local, if you want to buy some garlic, well, I'm sure we can sell some. And we sold about 5 dozen over the last year. We weren't really trying to sell it. People asked. And so, yeah, if you're local, you can, I'm not going to deliver garlic, but if you're local, I can sell some. It'd be too expensive to deliver because it's bulky. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Have a so yeah, but if you do, then you can well, contact me through our website, or the address is in the description. WillowsGreenPermaculture.com. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for always being here with us. Have a wonderful week, and we will see you next time.